Hey guys and gals, Undead. Before I get into the video, I just wanted to say this. Sorry about the same static background. My house is literally being renovated right now, so I'm redoing everything. There will be more backgrounds and new scenic locations to come in the next few weeks. I promise. I'm not going to be sitting on my bed every time. Let's get into this. We're going to be talking about Destiny 1 and 2 and how Destiny 1 is a better game in my opinion, but Destiny 2 is fundamentally and mechanically the better game. For the last week, I've been playing Destiny 1. First day I played it for the first time in 6 months, I played it for 18 hours straight. I went and 14 of those were Crucible because it was so much doggone fun. I had a really good time. I was swapping weapons out of my vault, which it was a pain in the dick because they got rid of Ishtar Legacy command, the commander thing for that. The guy stopped updating it, so it doesn't work anymore. I was back. I was using my Necrochasm, my Extremophile. I pulled out an NL Shadow. I was even using hand cannons. I was using my Godlord and Mago Loop. I was having a good time. Getting 5 to 6 supers a game because 5 to 6 kills guaranteed you a super in that game, and assists counted like crazy. Orbs of Light actually did what they were supposed to. Supers weren't absolutely busted. They were all kind of on an even playing field. You could actually kill yourself with your own Nova Bomb. Do you guys remember that? Now it's not. It's a shotgun in Destiny 2. Any primary weapon could destroy a super in seconds. You knew that there was a high risk reward, and they did that on purpose. You would get melted if you were in a super, but you could get 5 to 6 kills and have it right back again and go for a second time. The game itself, while being, in my opinion, better, is looking back at it. I was just literally taking notes on a notepad. Got a stack of them over there. Destiny 1 is very clunky. It is extremely clunky. The lag and the input delay is insane, even for a game that came out in 2014. I'm talking you'll melee somebody, you'll walk away, and you'll die just because they meleeed you and it took a second to register. Stuff like that. Or killing enemies and then half a second later they fall over and stuff like that. There's stuff like that. Systems as well, like anytime you go to open your menu or do something new in-game, the engine couldn't handle loading more than one thing at a time. If you were trying to load into a new location, it couldn't load your inventory. Or that's why in Destiny 2, whenever you die in a multiplayer match, if you go to spawn back in, it doesn't load your inventory until your character model loads and drops back on the map. It's also a good way to ruin your special ammo stockpile, because I've literally accidentally done that, forgotten about it, and lost all my special. There's also things like where you have to dismantle an item, you have to have it on your person. You cannot dismantle it from the tower. A lot of these systems were put in place to extend playtime in the first game. It was made to be drug out, but there was something endearing about it. Hopping on a Tuesday morning at whatever time reset used to be. I believe it was 1 o'clock in the afternoon or something like that. Hop up, get out of bed, talk with my buddies for a few hours, run the yesterday's stuff to make sure I'm good for this week to start, hop in the tower, go grab my bounties, grab my weapons for the day, bang out my Crucible stuff, go do strikes, nightfall, and then in the evening I'd run a raid, and then I'd bang out all 3 of my characters over the course of a week. I don't do that anymore. When I played Destiny 1 the other day, I was just having such a good time. I played Crucible for hours on end. I did a couple strikes. I ran a few story missions for just poops and giggles. And I even ran a Nightfall or 2 with some friends that I met on LFG that I actually have been talking to over the last couple days. I'm going to hop back on there with them probably in just a few minutes. It's 3:30 in the morning and I'm probably going to end up hopping and playing Destiny 1. The population is still strong for Crucible as well. I had no problem finding a game, combined arms, any of that stuff. It was taking 3 or 4 minutes. But that's to be expected. I mean, the game is 7 years old at this point. I ran around the locations with just looking at the beautiful scenery, just how incredible this game was designed. Venus is still one of the most beautiful locations with a fauna setting and stuff like that I've ever seen in any game ever. It had so many hidden locales and stuff like this. That one little corner tucked away on Venus where you could actually go there and there were little flying creatures in the sky. It was a creature that looked like a little baby wyvern. And they were rumored to be Hamkaras flying in the sky. If you actually zoomed in on them, and we found out what a real Hamkara looks like, and that does not look like that at all. There was so much here content-wise. That Destiny 1 was built strictly for content after a while. They finally got their footing. When Rise of Iron came out, it was literally the cherry on top of one of the greatest games of all time, in my opinion. Despite all its flaws, I still hold this game to a high standard. A lot of it could be said to be through rose-tinted glasses, and I'm pretty sure that's true. But if you go back and play it, a lot of people will agree. It's still more fun than Destiny because you're always getting something. There's always a grind. I played Crucible the other day. I got a Gjallarhorn drop in Crucible. You know how rare that is? I was getting loot every freaking game. I used to love seeing that whenever I'd finish a game, I'd see the loot pop up on the screen. You see what everybody got on the scoreboard. It wasn't scared to show the scoreboard like that. And that one guy, you could finish at the top of the leaderboard and get nothing, or you could finish at the bottom and get an absolute exotic, amazing weapon or a piece of armor. It was fun, and everything just ran so much better. There were no mercy rules in Destiny 1 either. The games were always neck and neck because the game was designed to be like that. It was built off of Halo. It was designed to be something like this. The story and stuff like that as well was Destiny's biggest falling out point on the thing there, because the story still makes no sense. Even in Destiny 2, as much as they've been trying to work on it, it makes no freaking sense at all. It doesn't. Now go over to Destiny 1 when it comes to the Eververse store. This is going to be the last point for this one for a minute. The Eververse store only had really good stuff to purchase whenever a holiday came around. Other than that, no one went and bought stuff at the Eververse store. This game was supported mostly off of the DLCs. The Taken King sold like hotcakes. It's still one of the biggest downloaded DLCs on any platform ever. Rise of Iron was the peak for the player base. It was like millions online. The player count on when Rise of Iron came out was bigger than Destiny 1 on launch, and there were hundreds of people waiting outside GameStops for this game. Eververse store was just kind of an afterthought. It was, hey, sprinkle a little, give us a tip if you want us to if you want to support the game further. Other than that, you're not required to. You could earn your shaders in game by leveling up stuff. You would earn cosmetics and ornaments. Do you guys remember the exotic cloaks, the Titan marks and stuff like that, the Warlock bond? You would earn all of these from your vendors. Vendors were actually put into the game. There's a reason they don't use the vendors anymore, because they can't monetize them and stuff like that. You go over to Destiny 2, it's Destiny 1 but stripped away to a bare bones system that runs better and looks slightly better. That's the only difference. The PvP mode is absolute trash. The supers are busted beyond all get out right now. In Destiny 1, if something was broken, it was fixed within a few days to weeks, because they actually had Activision backing them, and Activision was cracking the whip saying, look, you need to fix this now. Please fix this. In Destiny 2 right now, stuff has been broken for years. You go and you play these locations, they're empty, they're bare bones, there's nothing in these locations. Lost sectors are nothing. Destiny 1 had those by default. You'd be walking along and find a random group of enemies. They'd have random yellow bar enemies that would drop high level stuff just randomly scattered throughout the world. I didn't have to battle it through a lost sector. They were just there by default. I could find all this stuff on my own too. I didn't have to look on a map. I didn't mind exploring the map. Plaguelands, if I remember the name of that location correctly from Rise of Iron, it's the one thing I did not do was dip into Archon's Forge, because Archon's Forge is dead, unfortunately. No one goes there anymore. That location alone has more content in that one location than Europa does. Oh, but Europa has the public events. It's public events. We've been doing these for years. Oh, it has the Lost Sectors. We've been doing these for years. Oh, it has the Master Level Lost Sectors. It's a Grandmaster Nightfall miniature version. That's all it is. Oh, but you can farm for weapons. You could do that in Destiny 1 as well. Certain planets drop certain weapons and items. It's going back to the basics. You look at the changes they're making to Destiny 2 right now, going back to the season passing all the vendors, like the Vanguard, Drifter, and Crucible vendors and stuff like that. They're making them basically like that. They're also stealing the Battle Pass idea from Fortnite considering it is an exact carbon copy layout of the Battle Pass system from Fortnite. And if you cannot see that, look up a picture. It looks the exact freaking same. Weekly challenges for the season. When you beat them, the next week's seasons pop up as a new season, new week rolls around. This entire game as well is made with casual players in mind, but the problem is you alienate your hardcore fan base that built your game on Destiny 1. Destiny 1, it still has players. Tons of people still play it. Destiny 2, people just mainly play it because it's free. This game had a massive influx of players the moment it went free to play, and the big thing is, a lot of them don't understand that it's not, the game used to be so much more. Like in Destiny 1, you kind of had to have the DLCs to play. You really did. Same with Destiny 2. But in Destiny 1, it wasn't as punishing. They didn't put absolutely broken subclasses behind the DLCs. Plus, the DLCs were always on sale and still are. You can literally get the complete Destiny 1 collection for $15 from GameStop. If someone asks me how much it's going to be to play Destiny 2, I'm going to tell you have to have the $100+ of DLC. Oh, why'd I have the $100+? You need to buy the deluxe version to make it worth the crap. And you also need to buy the season pass to make it worth the crap as well. Because otherwise there's nothing to grind for in that game. I'm just very, very disappointed with this game right now. And I've been just writing down random things for Destiny 2 over the last couple days. I was playing some Crucible the other day. In Destiny 1, primary gunfights happened all the time. There was no ability spam, super spam. The only time that it really happened was I was running Young Harmkara Spines, and I really like that exotic because I like trip mines. You get 2 of them, and they're a one-shot kill. And if you spec into grenades, you can get your grenade back in like 30 seconds and stuff like that. It was so much fun doing that and not getting constantly shattered out of ability spam though. In Destiny 2, it's constant. I running around corners, everyone's dodging, throwing grenades, doing all this stuff. There was no primary gunfights. It was nothing but secondaries. It was nothing but Fellwinter's Lie. In Destiny 1, they absolutely, and I am pissed that they did this, they crapped on the special ammo economy. When you spawn in, you get a clip and a half of ammo if you're using a shotgun. If you're using a sidearm, you get 1 clip, a 12-round clip of your weapon of choice. Icebreaker spawned in with nothing, and Sniper spawned in with 2 rounds. Stuff like that. When you die, it goes away. They absolutely need to put that in Destiny 2. Which if they do, everyone will just switch to an SMG, because it'll spawn with a bunch more ammo. Destiny 2 right now is nothing but shotguns and hand cannons. In Destiny 1, I saw everything from pulse rifles, scout rifles, shotguns, hand cannons, sidearms, fusion rifles. I saw everything being used. Everything in that game was viable. Even though they weakened primaries at the end of the game, though, I don't know why they did that. Primaries were super strong in Destiny 1. In Destiny 1 as well, guns had no recoil at all. Most guns as well came with stability perks. The only actual stability perk truly in Destiny 2 right now is Zen Moment. And it's mainly only good on like pulse rifles and assault rifles. That's the only good thing that they spawn on. In Destiny 1, guns could have... I have a perfectly rolled PDX-45 with a great sight, perfect balance, counterbalance. And that's all I needed. It was a laser beam. I had a Hopscotch Pilgrim, Red Dot OES. I had that screenshot as my background on my phone for a while because it took me forever to get. Red Dot OES, perfect balance, counterbalance, full auto. And I had another one where I had full auto swapped out for rangefinder. It was insanely good. All the guns in that game had no recoil. They were designed like that. Destiny 2, all the guns have recoil for absolutely no reason. They have random bullet spread, all this stuff. The guns were not made to be accurate. Destiny 1 was originally designed to have a competitive side in mind. That's why Crucible was added. It was based off of a fast-paced Halo mixed with COD. That is exactly what it is COD mixed with Halo. They tried to go Halo 4 with Destiny, and if you've never played Halo 4, play them. They feel exactly the same. They're very similar in the way they play, with the movement style and stuff like that. In Destiny 2, the game was designed to be competitive at the start, with the team shotting and all stuff like this, and quickly it became whoever has a hand cannon and a shotgun can absolutely crap on the other person's team. There's no skill involved anymore. It's all about who can spam their super and all this stuff. There's no fun in it. Destiny 1, I have not played Destiny in that long, in forever. Even when Beyond Light came out, I played for like 5 or 6 hours, and I'm like, yeah, I'm going to take a break. Well, aren't you going to grind? No, COD comes out in 2 days. I'm going to play some COD and get my mindset in that. I said a lot of stuff about Beyond Light as well when it first came out. I was even saying, Stasis is broken. It's not fun. This DLC is like a 5 to 6 out of 10. It's lukewarm at best. And a lot of the thing as well that is sort of pushing me away from Destiny is all the new content that is being added is paid content only. Destiny 1, you would get a DLC that was chock full of a year's worth of deals, worth of content that was repeatable. Now if I want events and stuff like this, I have to wait until some holiday rolls around for a lackluster reskin of the last event. There's no fun in it anymore. I also have to buy a season pass or a season in order to be able to participate in seasonal content. That's not right. The Eververse store rules Destiny 2 right now. And I view it like this. The moment that game devs and publishers start viewing video games as art and entertainment and not as a long straw into someone's pocket to suck them dry of their cash, that is the point when video games will become prevalent again. Back in the day, there was so much passion poured into a game. Look at a game like this. And I love referencing this one because it's my favorite game of all time. You know exactly what it is if you've watched me for a while. Fallout 3. This game was made with so much passion in mind. It is one of the best RPGs of all time. It's one of the greatest games of all time. It comes with 5 very amazing DLCs. Operation Anchorage, The Pit, Broken Steel, which literally increases the level cap and adds a completely new ending for the game. It adds another 15 hours worth of content to the game for like $10. Point Lookout, which is my favorite DLC in any game ever. And Mothership Zeta, Tiny Tina's Assault on Dragon's Keep is my favorite DLC in any game ever. This is my second. And Mothership Zeta, each DLC had its own story in it, its own loot. There was no reused assets, all this stuff, no reused models. Everything was new. Now with Destiny, it's reuse, reduce, reuse, recycle, all this stuff. If you guys want a perfect example of that analogy I just used, watch the movie There Will Be Blood. When Daniel was talking about to the guy, he says, if I'm sitting, and it's been a while since I've seen it, but if I remember correctly, it was, if we're sitting in a diner drinking milkshakes, and I drink up my milkshake, my straw will go across the room into your milkshake, and I drink it up. That's basically what Destiny is doing right now. They're sucking you dry when it comes to this. They're already charging you for in-game cosmetics, season pass, and DLC. And you're already having to, and if you don't pay for it, you pay for Game Pass, which that goes to them as well. They're already double dipping when it comes to these seasonal models and this DLC and stuff like this. When you purchase the DLCs, you should automatically get a year's worth of seasons for free, but I didn't. I got none of that. I purchased, actually the deluxe edition is the one that comes with a year's worth of seasons. And I'm only doing that because it's slightly cheaper, and that's about it. Whenever I was playing Destiny 1, I have actual fond memories of Destiny 1 that I can just bring up like that. I remember getting my first exotic. I remember my first legendary. I still have my first ever blue that I got. I believe it was called a Black Chasm shotgun. It was a blue. It was a rare shotgun. Mighty Multi-Tool was my first actual exotic. I was playing in the Cosmodrome, had it drop from a random enemy when they could still drop. They were very rare, but they could drop in the world. Even from red bars. My first actual legendary weapon was a Grim Citizen 3 auto rifle. There was so much content there. And I did not realize until yesterday, I forgot about it though. The Red Death was actually a reskin of a legendary auto rifle called a Red Spectre. I had forgotten about that. It was basically its baby brother. It was, they were both fantastic weapons. In Destiny 1, I had guns that I actually had sentimental value for. In Destiny 1 right now, Destiny 2, I could clear my whole vault and not care. In Destiny 1, you had to hold on to that perfect roll because you only had 108 spots. I don't know how in the world I thought it was a good idea to have 108 spots in a vault in a game that's a looter shooter. I actually could grind for hours, and like I said, I played Crucible for 14 plus hours straight. You couldn't pay me to put myself through that pain and torture in Destiny 2. I dipped in there the other day, and I'm trying to get just high enough light that I can do the final Iron Banner of the season, and then I'm just going to be like, oh my god. New zombies map for COD in literally 2.5 days. That's all I'm thinking about. I don't care about finishing my season pass for Destiny. Just Destiny 1 was on paper a much worse game, but it still it holds itself to a higher regard because it had actual fun stuff to do. One of the most iconic activities in that game was the raid. You ask someone what their favorite raid is, they're most likely going to say either VOG or King's Fault. VOG is simply through rose-tinted glasses. That raid was absolutely overrated. It was only like that because it was the first time in a first-person shooter that a raid had been featured in a game. Destiny 2, it's Deepstone Crypt. Have not ran it yet, but it looks incredible. There was just so much more fun. A Nightfall, a hard-level Nightfall, was not pure pain of negative modifiers. It was nothing but positive modifiers because the developers understood they wanted you to be able to farm them and grind for loot. There was always an avenue for loot in that game. In Destiny 2, they stacked so much stuff on hard in-game content to make it so that it's punishing to want to farm for anything. Why would I want to spend 30 minutes running a Nightfall in Destiny 2 at Grandmaster level when I could run one in Destiny 1 in 9.5 minutes and get exotics? Why would I do that? And the weapons in Destiny 1 were better than in Destiny 2. The game, and I'm not trying to pump Destiny up as being perfect. I never said it was perfect. You will never hear those words come out of my mouth. Because it is flawed. It is very flawed. But it aged more gracefully than Destiny 2 is right now. And it is literally half as old as Destiny 1. It's... There needs to be change. There needs to be absolute change when it comes to this game. Destiny 2 right now is based strictly around the Eververse store and the Season Pass model for free-to-play players. Destiny 1 was based around the player in general. It is absolutely imperative that the developers understand this. Starting with actually listening to your player base. They said they addressed the 3-peaking issue the other day. I have no problem with the 3-peaking issue. It's the first time that Cosmo has spoken about an issue in literally 6 months. DMG does the same crap on Twitter every day. How's everyone feeling today? Got a TWAB coming out in a couple hours. That's going to be awesome, right? And in the comments of his stuff, everyone's like, yeah, that's awesome. Could you maybe fix the game, Dylan? Maybe talk to Bungie about this? And another thing as well, you need to get rid of Luke Smith. You really need to get rid of Luke Smith. I say this every freaking video I'm talking about it. I'm not trying to say, oh my god, fire the guy, but I'm kind of saying, oh my god, fire the guy. You need someone in there who actually cares for the game. Honestly, I'm all for Astacross going in the game. Either get him in there, get Cammy. Kuj is another really good one because that guy actually knows. The dude balanced Crucible in 30 minutes in the video. He had the solution to everything that Bungie has been looking at for years. And Bungie's sitting there just la 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 la. And what, God forbid, whatever you do not put Dado in there. Because the game will just be nothing but pure pain. Because he loves hard content. He's a World of Warcraft player, remember? He's just like Luke. But, you guys, this needs to be addressed. Destiny 1 had passion behind it. Regardless of it being ruined by Activision a lot of the time, these guys actually poured their heart and soul into their DLCs, and it showed. Even if a majority of it was cut content from the game, these guys poured their heart and soul into it with an amazing story, kinda, and one of the most amazing worlds to explore in gaming history. Destiny 2 is a shell of Destiny 1 at this point, and the thing is, it's technically bigger and better. And it's when you do a sequel, you're supposed to improve upon, not basically ruin everything. And someone could tell me right now that Destiny 2 is the greatest game ever, and I would just go, If you feel that way, awesome. Also, if you made it this far into the video and you're a subscriber of mine, thank you very much for sticking around and supporting me. It means a lot. And if you're new here, a like and a sub would be appreciated if you enjoyed the video. It's free, and it lets me know that I'm doing my job correctly and that you're actually enjoying the content, because this is just kind of a very cathartic thing for me to just sort of rant and ramble about my woes and first world problems with video games. But Destiny is on a slippery slope. People have been saying this for a while now. Oh, it's make or break this year, make or break. This year is literally make or break. When they did that PC announcement the other day, with what they're doing with the recall and all that stuff on PC, that was the final straw for a lot of people, because they're like, this clearly shows you absolutely do not listen to your community. You are doing everything but. Instead of going around and actually buffing the accuracy and tuning weapons properly, you go and you stomp them into the ground. There is so much that can be done. Increase stability on guns in the game to allow for more primary fire. There's a reason why nobody uses primaries. It's because special weapons hit and kill in mostly one hit, and their ease of use. They're basically all one-hit kill win buttons. Same with the supers. The primaries in Destiny 2 as well. They're all pretty crap. Have you noticed 120 hand cannons are only used because they 3-tap and they have the range of a sniper? Just me. You guys need to just address this stuff. What are your thoughts in the comments below, though? Do you guys think Destiny 1 is a better game, or Destiny 2? Destiny 2 runs smoother and plays better. Destiny 1 just has that fun factor that Destiny 2 lacks. Destiny 1 as well. I had fun doing bounties in Destiny 1, because if you did a Crucible bounty and completed it, you got a Crucible weapon. Every bounty gave something. In Destiny 2, you get XP. That's all you get from bounties. In Destiny 1, you could go and complete a Crucible bounty and get 25 kills with auto rifles. That would take a game to do. And you would usually get a legendary auto rifle that was better than the one you had in your hands. And Destiny 1 as well, there was just so much more of a content loop. Every week as well, I would swap my factions around. I would earn different weapons from different factions. I looked forward to Xur coming, even though I had every exotic in that game. There was so much more to do. I could run around on the planet and do patrols and had a good time doing it. Mindlessly doing patrols. In Destiny 2, I can't be bothered. Because it's the same crap I've been doing for 7 years. And yet again, the moment these developers start understanding that this game is meant to be art and entertainment and not a straw into our pockets, is the time that the game actually becomes fun. But they will never understand that because of cold hard cash. Bungie is worth over $2 billion. They are a $1 billion company, and they can't fix this. That says a lot about their integrity, and that says a lot about them as a developing studio, because their game could be absolutely on fire, and as long as there is a stream of cash flowing into them, they're okay with it. And it's not going to change until you vote with your time and wallet. Stop playing it, and change will happen. Destiny 1, in my opinion, is still one of the greatest FPS games ever made. It's one of the best games ever made. Destiny 2, it's in my top 20, maybe top 30. That's about it. That's mainly because it's mainly playtime. But if you enjoyed this, a like and sub would be appreciated. Stay safe in these trying times. If I offended anyone by saying that Destiny 1 is better than Destiny 2, grow up. It's my opinion, not yours. You can agree or disagree, but tell me in the comments. And I will see y'all later. Peace out.